So now it's time for the big one. Great Britain against Germany. Germany, bottom of the group GB, hoping to catch up with Australia. Let's join our commentary team now. Simon Mason and Charlie Britt.
It's the final match on day 4 and the biggest game of the competition so far for the hosts as Great Britain take on the defending Champions Trophy holders and the reigning Olympic champions, Germany. It's two teams that sit side by side in the world rankings. Great Britain ranked 4th, a place behind Germany, who are 3rd. Well, here come the two umpires, Cohen van Bunga and David Tomlinson. Tomlinson on the right, there is Barry Middleton and Florian Fuchs, the respective captain smiles all round in the tunnel. Great Britain have the meanest defence in the tournament, having conceded just 3 goals in the 3 games, up against the tournament's top scorers, Germany, who have 10 goals from their 3 matches, but they've also conceded the most, 11 in their matches so far. A loss for Germany, and they are out of contention for the gold medal match and a chance to defend their title. A loss for Great Britain wouldn't necessarily mean they're out of the running for the final, but they would need all their stars to align if they are to make it. So the teams are out on the park, and a moment for David Condon, number 22, who wins his 100th international cap here this evening. 70 of them for England, 30 of them for Great Britain. He scored 11 England goals and 5 Great Britain goals in that time. So congratulations to David. As we heard, made his debut against Germany at the Champions Trophy back in 2009, and his 100th cap comes against them as well. Right, time for the national anthems.
For the national anthem of Germany. And please remain standing for the national anthem of Great Britain.
So the national anthem sung, the players will shake hands, and then we get down to business. And Great Britain have got to do something they've never done before in the Champions Trophy, and that's beat Germany. They played each other 11 times. Germany have won 10, and there has been 1 draw. Okay, let's have a look at the two teams, starting with Great Britain. And number 8, Simon Mantell, gets his first start at this championship. And number 26, Nick Catlin, returns, having missed the last match against Korea with an injury. The defensive unit are going to have to play well in the penalty corner situation, as they have done so far, conceding very few, and they've faced a lot, 11 against Australia and 11 against Korea. As for Germany, well, they have 6 players that won gold medal at the London Olympic Games starting this game. Number 6, Heine, number 9, Dieker, 13, Hauke, Corner 18, Fuchs 23, and Rebente at 14. Now, the substitutes, well, David Condon may well be winning his 100th cap, but he's going to have to win it from the bench. No such sentiment for Bobby Crutchley, as he names number 22 amongst his replacements. Konstantin Stabe and Tim Hertzbruch start on the bench for Germany, as does Benedikt Vogt and Moritz Rothlander, a youngster who has shown much promise during this tournament. So the stage is set, the final match on day 4, Great Britain and Germany, both sides needing to win, really. Germany certainly, if they want to make the final. Great Britain, well, if they don't, they can still make the final, but they would need a lot of results to go their way. They won't be thinking about that. They want the win as Nick Catlin gets us underway. Great Britain in the red shirts and white shorts, attacking the goal to our right-hand side. Germany in the white and black. And alongside me for this one, a 3-time Olympian for Great Britain, Simon Mason. And Simon, a really interesting game in front of us here this evening.
Yeah, evening, Charlie. Thanks very much. Yeah, very interesting. And for me, one of the keys is going to be the fullbacks. So Martin Heine late into this German side. Can he command that German back line a bit more? It felt like when he wasn't here that Jacobi, the goalkeeper, had to try and do too much. He got caught out of position, and they have conceded a load of goals. But on the other hand, Lewis for Great Britain, who I think is an exceptional distributor, just started to force the ball a little bit against Korea.
Well, already you can see them putting on the pressure. Middleton really getting in the face of the German defence, and they've turned possession high up the park here. A chance for Fox, but he goes back to Catlin. And good to see Catlin starting. Obviously the injury, that missing the last game, more precautionary than anything else.
Yeah, we've seen a number of the teams leave players out of their squads because there's just some small tweaks, some small muscle tears, and they're giving them that time to recover, because it's a ferocious schedule, the number of games in a very short time.
Well, it is, as the ball comes across from Mantell, and it is Dieker who gets it behind for the long corner. Here's Jackson playing it in towards Heine. Heine gets half a stick on it, and it falls to Fuchs, the skipper. But it's what it's going to be like in Rio at the Olympic Games. There's very little rest time between the matches, and to make matters worse, if you like, it's a smaller squad, only 16 players going to Rio, where the teams have 18 players here.
Yeah, it does change the dynamic, and everybody understands why, with the numbers and the pressure that there is on the Olympics as an event to minimise the number of athletes across the whole thing, because it just gets bigger and bigger. But yeah, it's going to be physically incredibly demanding.
Ball into the circle. Milkout is beaten to it by Mikey Hoare.
Oh, Milkout so clever. As the ball came into Hoare, he actually let Hoare get the first touch and then just tried to nick the ball off him back onto his feet.
Here goes Hauke. Loses out, and Hoare shifts it to Fox down the line. And trying to pick out the run of Jackson, but he can't.
Oh, classic ball and run from Gleghorn. As he got the ball, he just drifted in field. Jackson led wide, and as Gleghorn popped it, he carried his run in field. The idea being that he knew that if Jackson got that, there was an underarm ball. And it's that kind of instinctive interchange that has grown for a lot of the teams over this tournament.
There's the Great Britain coach, Bobby Crutchley, who won 80 international caps. And, well, won National League titles in England, Australia and Italy during his career. Top scored in all those divisions as well. There goes the error across to on Brownbush. Catlin wants the free hit.
Oh, that's knocking the ball away. Surely, I appreciate the whistle went, but there was absolutely no reason.
There's 2 balls on the park.
If you watch this come down, we haven't got vision on the replay, but the ball hits a foot, Catlin appeals, the ball goes now, then Brownbush flicks that ball away. I think he's lucky to have not got warned.
Ball from Weir into the foot. There's the free hit. He leaves it for Jackson. Hoare down the line to pick out Martin.
Just outside circle, just outside the circle. Yeah, that's okay, thank you.
Outside the circle is the instruction from the umpire. Here goes Catlin. Catlin dispossessed by Brownbush. Brownbush throws the aerial, looking for Stabe. Stabe in a foot race with Lewis, and Lewis just comes across. Oh, there's an interested guest, Andy Flower, the former England cricket coach. And here comes a chance for Weir, plays it across, and, well, he did the right thing, but also doing the right thing in defence was Pilt-Arnold. Condon lurking at the far post. Sorry, Simon.
No, that's exactly right. As we came in late, but it was a beautiful move through the midfield from Great Britain. But just the final shot, the ball's almost dwelt on too long, looking to draw Jacobi to find that goal space, but it gave Arnold that opportunity to slide in front of the Great Britain attack.
Here is Weir again.
That's got to be a kick.
Outside 25.
That's 2. I mean, to me, again, Milkow looked like he put a foot on that deliberately.
Off Brownbush, is it? No, off Catlin.
But here we see the replay. A lovely first touch from Gleghorn. Weir just drawing Jacobi, does exactly the right thing looking for Condon, but Pilt-Arnold just gets there. Beautiful body shape on a knee and a hip.
And patient as well, watching the ball onto the stick to make sure that he got all of it and didn't deflect it into his goal. Here's a Vinfeder to Fuchs. There's the German coach, Valentin Altenberg, former under-21 coach. He is taking the senior team to the Olympics, and then he's returning to the under-21 setup. So just a stand-in appointment. Must be tricky.
Well, one of the youngest senior international coaches.
Well, the youngest only for Germany.
Yep. Very well respected, given the conversations that we've been lucky enough to have with a couple of players. Brings his own sort of personal energy to the whole project. He's got some composure, but it's very, very positive, everything that he does and says to the players.
Married to one of the female German players, Lisa Altenberg. She's a Fahrer character. We'll see her in action next week. Zwicker leaves it for Hauke. And it comes, deflected goalwards, and here comes Pinnock, and he clears. It seems to be being played at around 80% this game so far. It's not full on at the moment, is it?
No, other than the first 2 minutes. In our studio team, Austin Smith said that he thought that Great Britain would step out and try and win the ball high, which is exactly what they did for the first 2 or 3 minutes. But then all of a sudden that tempo seems to drop. It's really hard to keep that going again and again and again, but Great Britain are going to have to find, as you say, Charlie, probably another 10 or 15% and keep being positive and aggressive.
Here is Hayner. Hayner allowed to run forward, has Vinfeder to his left. Here is Vinfeder. Vinfeder, head up. Lovely ball for Dika. Dika cracking it into the circle, and that's come into the leg of Dixon, is it? Well, I think it's gone against Dixon, but let's have another look.
Is it a lifter ball just inside the circle? The touch there that lifts it that causes the hit. It's Lewis, I think, who leads into the space. Touches it as he comes across, leads high, and all of a sudden we see that pile into Constantine Stabe. Now, Park isn't allowed to let that carry on. Whilst it looked like there was an advantage to Germany, because it's hit a body, so 2 wrongs don't make a right. Just because it's been lifted into the body, you can't carry on and play the advantage, which would have given Germans the shot.
Well, Germany had 9 penalty corners against India, scored 2, 3 against Belgium, scored 1. And also scored one against Australia, so they know what they're doing from the top of the circle. It's Grambush and Vinfed. It's Grambush. We're ready for Cleghorn. Corner, corner, corner is the shout from Koen van Bunge, the umpire on the halfway line.
Well, the Great Britain corner defence has been outstanding. I think you said at the top of the program, 22 corners conceded against Australia and Korea. No goals from either, primarily because of the first run and not because the goalkeeper, Pinnerelli's made a couple of saves.
Yeah, they have been excellent. Grambush and Vinfeder again at the top of the circle. This time it's Vinfeder who leaves it for Grambush. Go for the check. Oh, what a stop on the line that is for Middleton.
That's just brilliant. Great routine from Germany. Spin off the top, right-hand castle, spins to left-hand castle, delivered to Injector. Somehow Middleton gets across.
Well, he didn't leave his post, he didn't leave his zone, and he stepped across behind his keeper, as you want your postman to do.
So right castle, spins to Grambush. He can't get it away, so he just bunts back to Dika. Pinner gets caught. Middleton picks that. That ball must be absolutely bang on the line. He steps behind Pinner. Such a great bit of defending.
But he can't see it. I mean, he must see this ball so late because it comes through Pinner's legs. It's an astounding piece of hand-eye coordination. I'll get it out in a second. And now down the other end, Great Britain have 1-1 as well.
So here we see it again. The ball gets very close to going over the line. It's right on the line as it comes through.
Does it not touch Pinner's right foot on the way through as well?
It may well have done.
Make it even better.
Exceptional coordination from Middleton. Done exactly right. Get across the goal, get in the right place and let it hit you. Put yourself there, as opposed to the Belgian corner defence that we saw bail out to the left.
12 seconds, get ready.
So, Great Britain, having defended 2,
8 seconds.
have a chance. Gleghorn.
Right, 4, 3.
And Sloane to the right. Gleghorn to the left. And it's gone to Gleghorn, who goes low, and that's a good save from Jacobi. So some excellent defensive work at both ends. Here we go, as Fox fires it in. And it's cut out by Philippe Robente.
So here we see down to Jacobi. That's a great left toe, big, long legs. Driving off his right foot, doesn't go to split, so he's got that anchor to push himself left.
Well, he had to take that post as well. His postman had moved into the centre of the goal.
Well, I think it's because Gleghorn, in my opinion, his favourite flick is the one where he takes the ball out to the goalkeeper's left, then rips it across his body low down to the goalkeeper's right. So by Jacobi stepping there, you can put the postman in the middle and give that extra defence on the right-hand side.
These two teams met here in the semi-final of the European Championships, although Great Britain were playing as England that day, and you and I, Simon, called that one, and Jacobi had just one of those games. Everything England threw at him. He was in the right place at the right time, and an outstanding performance by him in that game to get Germany into that final.
Yeah, and to me, that the save that he just made is kind of just part of his game. What he does really well when it works is he just uses the simple size of his frame to put himself in the right place. He reads the game brilliantly, and therefore his size is a real advantage, except for when it doesn't go well, and he can look like he lacks a little bit of coordination. But there you see a proper textbook goalkeeper save, extension of left foot.
Lewis is in a bit of a cul-de-sac here, and thinks about it and then decides brute force is the way out.
It's gone over the top to people who are being subbed.
Well, somehow they've just about timed that correctly. Jackson and Catlin coming on.
Unfortunately for Lewis, I think Jackson was aware of what he was trying to do, so he was just waiting. That must have been toes touching the line, a fingertip tap to interchange.
Just 4 minutes of the first quarter remaining. Still Great Britain 0, Germany 0. We've had no goals in the first half of any of the matches we've had here today. Can these two teams give us a goal in the opening 30 minutes? Well, they're going to have a go here through Rotlander, but he loses out.
Loses out to a brilliant tackle from David Ames, who reaches around on the reverse without putting any kind of body contact.
First time down the line from Martin. Infield looking for Jackson. But Germany cut it out and they bring it away. Here is Rebente. Oh, and that's been taken by Ward. Ward into the circle. Ward with a little spin. Ward wins the penalty corner as Vicker and Jacobi form a barrier that he can't get round.
I think I saw lost his foot, therefore back to corner.
Well, there's a question, are they appealing this? It looks like they're appealing it. Suggestion, Komambo gave this for the foot, but did that hit the foot, or has that gone between Winfeder's legs?
Okay, please check if the number 4 defender of Germany hit the ball with his foot inside the circle. Thank you.
Ask Dion now the question.
So we're looking for a foot. To me, it goes between his feet. Very difficult to see. That looks to me, there's no change, obvious change in direction of the ball to roll through. There's no obstruction there. Sam Ward is just trying to force that round the goalkeeper as much as he can. Can't get his stick through because of Winfeder's feet, but I don't think that touches those green shoes. Yeah, and it was Hainer, the man in the middle of the picture, who's actually looking down the line. That he was the man who went to the video referral, so he will have seen the line of that ball coming through Winfeder's feet. I'd be reasonably surprised if the original penalty corner decision is upheld. Although I have to say, given my success on calling these over the course of the week,
I was going to
on
say,
the other hand, this could easily be upgraded to a strike.
Here we go. Well, for me, the ball doesn't really do it, doesn't divert after it goes through the legs, it just runs on a straight line.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it from how the players react. Sam Ward didn't go up for it in any way to appeal for the corner. Hainer immediately then questioned Winfeder, and they spoke about it and then went to referral straight away.
Leon.
No advice possible, therefore stay with your decision.
Martin.
So our video umpire deciding that it wasn't absolutely categorically clear, and if there is no clear advice possible, you can't change the decision. So he's not saying the decision was right or wrong, he's just saying he can't help with that process.
So Great Britain have their second penalty corner of the match.
That does, however, mean that the Germans keep their referral, because they weren't wrong.
So Warden Jackson, as you can see at the top.
Everybody ready?
Ames and Martin will be doing the stopping. And it comes, it goes to Jackson. Jackson rifles it just wide. That has got to be pretty close.
Yeah, favourite corner for Jackson, brings it into his feet, releases off his wrists. That is so close to the top corner. How he creates so much power is a mystery to a lot of people. It's such an upright drag. Jacobi, if that had been inside the post, Jacobi wouldn't have got there.
Yeah, it wasn't over the bar, was it? It was the right height. Probably justice deserved as Great Britain missed the target.
Yeah, he certainly feels so from what we saw. But
Dika. Winfeder, here's Hainer. Hainer with Dika in plenty of space. Dika running into the circle. So much space, but, well, Lewis gets across to stop the first attack. And, Great Britain scrambling now, but Dixon steps out in front of his man to bring it away. But Dika afforded way too much space down that right-hand flank for Germany.
Well, I was going to say just moments ago, but Great Britain have backed off. We talked about the high press, but they were giving Germany enough time to make passes. So all of a sudden, Hainer could see the ball over the top to Dika, and Lewis did unbelievably well. He probably had to cover 20 to 25 metres of space, because what he's trying to do is police the line to goal. So he was covering the ball into the circle from Hainer and then had to get across to Oliver Dika.
Down the line, no one there. Free out for Germany. And we tick into the final 75 seconds of this first quarter. It's been an absorbing first quarter, pretty even Stevens.
What a ball under the arm.
Here goes Grambush. Grambush running into Fox, wins the free hit, taken quickly.
That ball was never stopped. It was not stopped at any point. As a free hit, the ball has to be stopped. It's a simple set of rules.
Well,
the whistle had gone.
It's been exploited by Milk Cow. Here we go, I think this one.
So I'm fairly sure you could appeal it. Watch here. So it comes in, there's the free hit given. The ball now gets knocked out by Mantell. Unfortunately,
let's listen in.
Yes, David.
Can you just check the taking of the free hit, please? I was happy, but GB saying it wasn't stopped and therefore it should be a free hit defence.
Because the passenger play definitely leads to a penalty corner. So watch the ball pop in. This is what I was talking about. So Mantell now knocks it away. The whistle's gone. Now watch Milk Cow. That ball is moved straight away. That's never stopped. So in my opinion, because the corner is now given, that passenger play directly relates to the corner, therefore it can be referred. Earlier in the tournament, we've had a free hit that's not been allowed to be referred because it was felt the passenger play didn't relate to the corner.
Minutiae of umpiring, but well, we'll wait and see. As Mantell plays it back out.
David.
Go ahead.
I have a decision for you. There was no stopping of the ball and the unfair advantage gained, therefore hit out to the defence.
Right, thank you.
So, there you go. Well done, Simon, you got one right.
Both teams still have their referrals.
Finally.
This time's up, mate. Just wait for that first.
What, day 4?
Just hold. Okay.
So, we're back underway, but a good use of referral by Great Britain. So while Germany might not have got the right decision, they got the right outcome by Great Britain not scoring. Great Britain avoid defending another penalty corner. Here's Weir. We're turning the stave for company.
Great
Catlin.
footwork from Catlin, wasn't it? Just to move his feet out of the way and peel the ball back under his body.
And a chance here for Germany through Stave. Stave, what a tackle that is from Hoare. Then almost loses his footing. Here is Jackson. Jackson as the crowd count down. And that is the end of the first quarter, and nothing to choose between Great Britain and Germany after the opening 15 minutes. A couple of penalty corners apiece, but it reads Great Britain 0, Germany 0 at the end of the first quarter. So Simon, as Bobby Crutchley gets to work, let's have a look at some of the highlights from the opening 15 minutes and penalty corners.
Well, spin and back to the injector, and then Middleton pulling off an exceptional stop on the line. Absolutely the right thing. As the ball moves to his right as a defender, he's tracked it, he's moved, he's gone back to protect Pinner, and he picks it absolutely on the goal line. That ball, whole ball, not crossing the whole of the line. Great Britain with a corner of their own over the other end, and it's Jacobi with an incredibly long, extended left leg to deflect it away. And then Jackson once again ripping one high past the goalkeeper's left-hand post, his favourite corner, but that's just a fraction away from being a brilliant finish.
Now this in-goal camera showing us how close it is. Bobby Crutchley got the whiteboard out. Care to translate, Simon? Do you know what he's trying to get across there?
Well, unfortunately, it depends on which way the team are playing, because that's either we're going to roll around the back and play through left midfield, or it's we're going to go up the left wing and roll back out and play to right wing. So, no is the answer to that, Charlie. Not a clue.
Okay, well, let's find out, because Mike is with Bobby.
Mike, what was said? Mike, that's me. get it right. Bobby, what was said in the quarter-time talk?
Yeah, we just need to sort out a couple of things, make sure we get a bit more pressure on the Germans, but I think we grew into the quarter. As ever, it's a very quite tactical game, and we've just got to make sure we're disciplined with our defence, and actually when we do that, we can win the ball and then actually create some counter-attack, which we know we can hurt them with.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So there you go, that's what it was all about. 16. Plenty of school kids in again for this crucial match in the 2016 Euro Hockey Champions Trophy. A draw wouldn't help Germany either. Draw wouldn't be a disaster for Great Britain, but they would require Australia to beat India and then for themselves to beat Belgium. Belgium, incidentally, aren't out of it either. They've got quite a complicated equation to make the final. They'll need Australia to beat India by quite a few goals, and they need a draw here, and then they need to beat Great Britain by a number of goals in the last match of the pool round on that Thursday evening.
And to wear different socks on the left leg to predict the Euro lottery numbers as well. Yeah, and when teams get things taken out of their hands, they're never as comfortable. You always want to try and predict your own destiny, but it comes as no surprise in a tournament where the teams here are such exceptional quality that things go backwards and forwards, and it does remain so close. Even Korea, with some surprise results coming in as the bottom-ranked team, show that there is no distance at all between these top nations.
Here's a chance perhaps for Germany on the reverse stick side, and going cross comes from Stave, and Pinner pats it behind.
I'm not sure from Stave whether this is meant to be a cross or a shot. If it's a cross, then he's got underneath it, a little bit like Austin Smith was demonstrating earlier on in our programme. Cut underneath. I think that was meant to be a pass across goal.
Well, they've still got the pressure here. Good work from Ames, who's had a good tournament, hasn't he?
He's been fantastic, and he was applauded. He was Great Britain's Performance Players Player this year in their awards, and he was remarked to be just such a quiet man off the pitch. Let his play do all the talking, very, very controlled and composed, but has been outstanding all this week so far.
Ball comes off Hayner.
Come on. Okay.
This is Jackson. And that's a little push in the back from Milkcow. Jackson still going. Now gets the ball in, and it's turned away.
Take 5 again, take 5, come up.
Sloan. Back to Hoare. We'll go across to Lewis.
And the strength of that back two, it means that Hoare and Lewis can play as a standalone back two. They can get full width. They've got huge power slapping the ball across the pitch.
Ward just pushed off the ball by Gotlander. And Germany have the free hit. Here is Hayner. Vinfeder. Hayner again. Dika tries to one-touch it down the line, but can't quite get the angle.
If there had been an angle, I think Sloan would have had some trouble catching the German midfield as they ran past him. You've got to be so careful as you step up. Great Britain trying to play this aggressive front defence, but if as a midfielder you step up beyond your man, if the ball then gets deflected behind you, you are in trouble. So you need to essentially be looking at the ball and keep the man off at 90 degrees off your shoulder, so you can still do your defensive running if the ball gets there.
So here is Lewis, first time down the line, and Vinfeder is sharp to come across to cut out the ball from Gleghorn, and he's there again to win possession back for Germany. Hauke has possession, Gleghorn penalised. It's very flat, isn't it, out there at the moment? There's not much noise from the crowd. They haven't got into the game. The players seem to be playing really quite slowly, given the importance of this match.
Yeah, it's that difficult balance, isn't it, that you don't want to get carried away with the enthusiasm of the spectators. It sometimes happens, for example, if you were out in India and Pakistan where they have 40, 50,000 people come to watch their test matches, it's really easy to get caught up in that simple noise and energy when you play at overspeed and try and do things too quickly. But at the same time, if you take your foot off and you back away, suddenly there's no intensity when you get the ball.
Fuchs to Hauke.
No, keep going, keep going.
Hauke to Dika. Dika picks out Gommel. Jonas Gommel. Nice skill from Gommel. And they're into the danger zone here. Germany, but Jackson will bring it away. Jackson dribbling out of his 23 now. He's looking for the outlet ball, but there's not really much on. There is now with Lewis behind him. Lewis.
Awesome composure from Jackson as he picked that up. It was a difficult ball for him to take, bouncing ball on his reverse, but he loves taking it forward on his reverse. He carried that, 20 metres forward, just always offering that reverse pass. He used his stick a little bit, his body very cleverly to shield the ball.
Lewis into Martin. Martin tops it back out. Some space now down this left-hand side. Hoare. To Leghorn, Grambush. Well, Leghorn wanted the advantage. Kern van Bung saying it's too many.
Outside, just outside, boys.
Off Dika, free hit on the edge of the circle.
Dixon rolling away down the right-hand side out of Lewis' view.
Lewis plays it in, off Hayner. Lewis wants the ball, here it comes. Plays it now to Dixon. Lewis, back again to Hoare. Picked up by Catlin, but he lifted the ball.
If you look at that change at the end of the first quarter, I think you had 3 Great Britain penetrations.
Hauke plays the ball into the circle, it's up, that's going to be a penalty corner, the dangerous play.
Well, Jackson will be absolutely gutted as that comes across, because it was on his forehand. We credited his backhand as it comes around. It's a great carry into space, tucked under the arm as it comes across from Oliver Korn. Milkow swings at it, but it was up off Jackson. That's just a very basic, fundamental skill error. He'll be disappointed. He's in the right place, just fails to get a full blade of a stick on it.
So a third penalty corner for Germany.
8, 7, 5.
Great Britain, not much time left. They're just about ready in time. Now at the top of the circle, it's Gommel. Well, he's rolled away, so it's going to be Grambush. Grambush goes low, deflection, and a penalty stroke into the body of Hoare on the line.
Well, it suggests they're going to video referral. It definitely hit Hoare's body on the line, but what did it hit on the way to him? It took a touch off something. Was it classified as high when it hit a lineman? Did it hit a foot? There was a deflection.
Firstly, whether it hit the arm or the hand, and also whether it was going wide.
We'll have a look to see if it's hit the body and the direction.
Okay, so I don't think there's any question about it hitting the body, is there?
No, I think it definitely hits the body, but whether or not it's going wide, I think it's going just inside the post.
It certainly felt like that in real time. We've got a slightly odd angle from here, but probably a better angle than umpire David Tomlinson. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what, if you look at the angle on this.
On the top left-hand one.
So as it comes through, we're looking at... fraction outside. This is going to be so close. I mean, unfortunately, my first call, this could be another no advice possible based on the angles, because we haven't got some sort of laser pointer. That from that angle looks like his forearm going between his legs, which looks like from that angle it's going wide. That to me looks it's off Lewis. If you look at the line of that ball, if you just extended that line, if there was a super slow-mo.
I have a decision for you. The ball has hit the arm, therefore a penalty corner, as it was going wide of the goal.
Thank you.
So good referral from Great Britain, and no complaints from Germany. They're all stood up there waiting for the next penalty corner. So good work from Lewis.
Well, you see, Lewis was the one who deflected it, so he could see straight down the line of that. So he was absolutely adamant as soon as it went, was signalled as a stroke that it wasn't, it was a corner.
Hoare wasn't to know.
No, he was just doing his job on the line.
So Gommel, number 7.
All right, fellas, let's go, please.
And, Tom Grambush, number 15. The top of the circle again. Gommel peels away to the right-hand side, so it will be Grambush. Grambush goes high. Pinner makes a great save, and the umpire has no option but to call another penalty corner because it's gone straight up in the air.
Good save, Pinner. Big, strong right hand. He's read that all the way. He's had to launch with his left foot, use all of his height. He'll be slightly disappointed that he's got almost too much on it and brought it back into play. Ideally, pure textbook, you'd deflect it over the crossbar. However, with a ball travelling at that speed, you're just grateful to get anything on it. Great coordination, Pinner.
This time Gommel doesn't peel away, but it will be Grambush again. Goes low the other way. And off the first runner, who is Mark Gleghorn. And this is very similar to the Australia career game for Great Britain. Penalty corner after penalty corner.
Yeah, Gleghorn protecting that left-hand side of the goal means that Pinner can offset. You're absolutely right, all those corners, eventually it told. However, Gleghorn has to resist the temptation. If that's hurt at all, what he needs to do is resist the temptation now to jump. To be effective, he needs to just get close, keep his feet flat on the floor.
Grambush, good save, good follow-up.
What a double save.
Well, I think he's missed the second shot. It's a single save by Pinner plunging to his right-hand side, and the follow-up has been pulled wide, but nevertheless, Pinner has rescued Great Britain here.
I was absolutely convinced it was an exceptional first save. I thought Pinner then got his left hand up as it comes. It's a great save low for a big man getting down. Now I thought that was a save, but it's not. It's a complete miss-hit.
Yeah, Dika with the miss-hit. But Pinner with 2 very fine saves, and from a goalkeeping perspective, because they're all those rear walls, we'll just see Dixon into the circle on the reverse, and that has gone wide.
It's gone wide of Jacobi's left-hand post. Dixon's pulled all the way around it. How he's managed that, I don't know, to get it all the way back.
I saw Jackson tumbling. I thought he might have got in the way.
I did as well. Dixon drives across the top of the circle, touches it in right-hand dominance, suggestion of back sticks because of how it's got across and how it's bobbled. But Jackson absolutely on the post.
But just going back to Pinner, he's made 1 good save. And sometimes as a goalkeeper, you can make 1 good save in a flurry of short corners, then the 5th one goes in, and it's like, well, what was the point of that save? There he's made 2 great saves. Great Britain, have kept a clean sheet and then gone on the attack.
Yeah, hugely beneficial. But what he's also done is he's made 2 exceptional saves in totally different corners of the goal. So for a big man getting your hands up, it's relatively straightforward. But to get himself down there so well, brilliant bit of goalkeeping, good body shape, good strength.
Here is Firk, just dropping it out to Arnold. Here is Vicker. Lays it into Hertzbruch. Here is Hertzbruch. Still going. Arnold. Vicker. Firk. Just by Middleton. Hauke. To close him down. Zwicker the 1-2 with Hauke, but Hauke hadn't continued his run, and Condon can bring it away. Has a look up. There's no one in red in front of him, so he just drops it out to Lewis, who gives it back to Condon.
Condon's done so well to pick that up underneath his feet, because Lewis just drilled it straight back at him.
Zwicker. Heine. Fuchs. Cuts back inside Gleghorn. Fuchs wins the free hit. Up off Middleton. Chance here for Firk. Good work from Fox. So he's not gonna. He's not challenging that one. So it was off the arm. Good call by the umpire, Cohen van Bunger, at this end.
Yeah, Fox will be disappointed because it's a miss-hit. It's a bobble. That's why it's gone off the grip of his stick into his body. He's in exactly the right place. He actually wanted that to be hit hard and flat into his stick.
Well, Pinner's going to have to work again, but once again, Great Britain having to defend a lot of penalty corners in the first half.
5, let's go. 2.
So at the top is Hertzbruch and Vinfeder. It's Hertzbruch. He's plucked it out of the air like candy off a baby.
Well, he stood there, he's read that so early, he's taken a big step to his left. I mean, the Couldn't have made this look any easier. This is international, high international quality goalkeeping. He's read it, big left hand, pushes it wide.
Kurtzbusch plays it back out. Vinfeder.
Interesting, in the middle of the pitch, Gleghorn, flapping around his knees, is still wearing the knee pads that he was wearing for #1 running.
Well, Germany have got Great Britain under a lot of pressure here.
I think it's gone straight through.
And he's now going to go and be substituted. Here's the save once again, Simon. But as you say, he was waiting for that one.
Yeah, switched across, however, to try and make the space to get round the #1 runner. Gleghorn had been so effective, as Dan Fox is when he's on. If that happens, then as a routine, you need to find a different space.
Well, Korea found it, didn't they, finally?
Albeit with a fantastic old-school zigzag around the #1 runner.
Well, more effective than anything Germany have tried thus far.
It's one of those difficult things as a team that are here with half an eye on Rio. You don't really want to show too many routines because they'll go in the bank, they'll go on the computer, and a team will look at it and go, right, who is where, who lines up?
Well, they're not showing any, are they, Germany? They've got one castle bang in the middle of the goal and the same bloke having a go time on, time off again.
Absolutely. It's one of the, it's not a standing joke as such, but everybody has always talked about the Germans just keep something up their sleeve for when they need it. So with, what, 5 minutes to go in an Olympic medal match or a huge game, suddenly something comes out that you've not seen before. They were one of the first teams to do the spin that we've seen other teams deliver over the course of this week.
So we've got 2:25 remaining in the first half. Otherwise, we're going to have 3 matches with no goals in the first half on match day 4. Here is Catlin. Catlin up against Dika. Catlin gets past Dika. Still going up against Heine. And Heine gives away the penalty goal. You can bet your bottom dollar Heine will challenge this.
Well, there's definite stick contact. I have to say, I felt that Catlin might have stick obstructed. He gets round Dika's stick. Now when he goes double touch, does he just lead and create stick obstruction? No, it's just an ugly tackle from Heine as Catlin's gone through. That's why it's not been referred. Heine's obviously not happy, but he's an argumentative character at the best of times.
He's never happy, unless Germany win. So a chance near the end of the first half. Ward and Jackson, you can see them 13-7. Who's going to take on the responsibility here? It's going to be Jackson. Jackson fires it in. Jacobi makes the save. It falls from Middleton, who pops it over the bar. Middleton with a chance to give Great Britain the lead, but he just gets too much on it and it goes over the bar.
Jacobi picks the save. He gets down low and blocks it. Middleton, watch Jacobi try and shrug. He jumps at this. Middleton's trying to go over the top of the big man. As it comes in there, it falls behind the box. Unfortunately, there he just tries to pop it over his shoulder, and Jacobi jumps. Fraction too high for Middleton, a little bit too much on it as he tries to poke it in the roof of the net.
Donald was in that position where he was looking for the ball and it was actually behind him. But both keepers playing well so far. And it's going to be another penalty corner as Hauke played it across, and well, Pinner annoyed with himself, but he had to go down and play the ball.
Absolutely, as it comes across, Hauke goes around Jackson like he's not there because he protects the ball so well. Pinner did have to dominate, because if he'd let that go, yes, you had Mikey Hoare on that back post, but he wasn't to know Florian Fuchs wasn't completely unmarked behind him.
Another penalty corner for Pinner and co to defend. Heine now joins the castle at the top of the circle. One castle, 2 potential drag flickers. Heine nearest to us. Brambush on the far side, and it is going to be Heine. Heine moves it. Oh, there's a little movement there, and he's up to it. Is Pinner? No, he's not. It falls to Hauke. Well, there is the movement that you've never seen before when they need it most, and that is 67 seconds before the half-time break. And Germany have the lead, courtesy of Tobias Hauke.
Well, we said that they weren't showing us anything, so they've probably shown us a double spin, pull back through the legs, pick and fire. Good save, Pinner. Unfortunately, nothing that he or Middleton on the goal line could do as Hauke dives in to save. All of a sudden, a reach there in front from Ames, but Hauke's there first tucks it over Pinner's left shoulder into the net.
Well, that was a beautifully worked penalty corner routine, and it gives Germany the lead. Great Britain 0, Germany 1. Hauke, the 29th minute.
That's a wry smile from Valentin Altenberger. He knows he's pulled something out of the locker to deliver with that. It was beautifully executed.
It's the 4th goal of the tournament for Hauke. Scored from open play in the second game against Belgium, and then 2 from open play against Australia. This is first penalty corner goal of the tournament.
When you're facing that as a penalty corner defence, you're reading body shapes, and as Heine spanned that, you could see the defence react, because you spin it to the defensive right, you all step across, and then that cunning, crafty pull through his legs back to another stop for Hauke to deliver from. Just was completely against angles.
Onto the top of the circle, there is Bohr to intercept, and here is Ward. Ward winds one up off the stick of Arnold, and that is the half-time hooter. And Tobias Hauke has given Germany the lead 63 seconds before the break. Pinner, well, had a great first half. There was nothing really he could do about the goal, but Great Britain have it all to do in the second half. Half-time here, Great Britain 0, Germany 1.
We're with the goal scorer, Tobias Hauke. Congratulations, what a time to score it, and what a way to score it.
Yeah, it's in front of the halftime, it's always good to score, so we're pretty happy, but now we have to focus on the first minute, second half, for sure.
And how many times have you practiced that penalty corner?
In the past, a lot of times. This year, not so often, but yeah, it works quite good, so probably we can play it some more often. Yeah?
It's worked this time. Enjoy your halftime break. We'll see you in the second half.
See you later.
It definitely has worked. What a crucial goal for Germany. Just seconds before half-time. Not his fault, he's had an outstanding first half. Join us after the break for all of the analysis. Welcome back to the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre here in Stratford. It's Germany who have the lead against GB in the dying seconds of the first half. It has been a pulsating first half. Chances at both end, keepers in great form. If you look at the stats, there's hardly anything between them apart from that all-important thing at the top. 1 goal to 0 to Germany. Plenty of shots on goal. Circle penetration, 7-4 in Germany's favour, and 56-44, but it's the penalty corners that's finally told its tale as Germany lead by 8-3 in the penalty quarter. So, a pulsating first half, gentlemen. I feel so sorry for George Pinner. He's had an outstanding first half, but what a move to put Germany in the lead.
Yeah, Pinner, he's played well. He'll be a little bit disappointed with some of the clearances, but really, this corner from the Germans, absolutely world-class. And they interviewed Hauke at the end of the first half, and he didn't even seem too excited. But this corner, really, it's out of the top drawer, and really, there's no way to defend that. Hauke diving in there to get that final important touch.
Well, the other thing is also, GB didn't have their first charge out. Fox wasn't there, and Middleton ran that first line, and he had Amy's in the goal. But I would still say it was a perfectly executed penalty corner with a lot of guile and cleverness.
I don't like to give Simon Mason credit, but he did say maybe Germany might have a little bit of surprise up their sleeve for moves, because they'd had so many corners and had been frustrated by the keeper so many times and by the captain on the line.
And Barry Middleton, he deserves that save. He's taken one on the shoulder, he's had another one fly past his ear, and this positioning here is absolutely brilliant. He's come behind the keeper, where we've seen other players at this tournament back away. Barry Middleton there in the right space at the right time.
Pinner's got to be absolutely disappointed there, as he said. He's made so many great saves.
He's made fantastic saves, and the goal which actually went against him was a bad. He blocked the ball and brought it into the goal. He could have pushed it out, and he knew himself after he batted that ball that it was a bad penalty corner to give, and then they got a goal from that one.
So, GB, I think they'll be pleased in the way that they've played. They've created their own opportunities. They've had their own chances up the other end as well, haven't they?
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed to see Jackson again dropping into form almost a back five, and a lot of the balls that are being played down the line are being cut out by the Germans. They have created a few chances, but I think if they play more through the midfield instead of those long balls down the line, I think they could create more.
Yeah, keeper Jacobi making a fantastic save of his own with his left foot there. How do you think GB coach will be feeling at half-time? They're at home, a lot of pressure.
I think they'll be a little bit disappointed against this German side. They are not at full strength, and I think he would have liked to seen a bit more of a commanding game from his side. I think Jacobi has made a few good saves, but all in all, he hasn't been tested all that much.
Okay, well, we're talking about a coach being under pressure at home. I think Mike's caught up with someone that knows all about that.
What about this? We've got Andy Flower alongside us now. Used to seeing him on the cricket field and in his coaching roles with England. What brings you here tonight, Andy?
Well, I'm actually on a UK sport coaching course, and we had a seminar this afternoon. And part of a number of the facilitators are from hockey, GB hockey. So they brought us along here tonight to watch, support, and then we're going to have a chat with the GB women's coach later, just talking coaching after the game sometimes. So. Yeah, we're all involved in coaching and in trying to improve ourselves, and other than watching a great game, that's why we're here.
And what do you make of the game so far?
It's amazing. It's amazing how much hockey has changed since I played it back at school in Zimbabwe. You know, I played back in the days when they were grass fields, when there was turning and things like that. But it's lovely to watch. Very quick, and they're brilliant athletes.
We see a lot of cricketers have those hockey skills, and a lot of hockey players have cricket skills. I think Rob Key springs to mind. There's a couple of the South African internationals as well that all played hockey. What makes it so similar?
Well, I can't imagine Rob Key was a forward. He must have been lingering at the back somewhere. There are some transferable skills. Obviously, some of the soft skills with the stick or the bat are comparable, especially now that there's so many reverse sweeps and slog sweeps being played in mainly 2020 cricket, but all sorts of forms of cricket. And you see quite a lot of that, quite a lot of similar skills with the hands and the touch. So it's great watching these athletes do what they do.
We'll let you enjoy the second half. Thank you very much for your time. Go and enjoy a beer.
That's a pleasure. I will. Thanks.
Yeah, nice to hear from Andy Flower. Well, the teams are back out on the park, and well, they're out nice and early. Still 20 seconds or so until we get this second half underway. But Great Britain have it all to do. They started the first half quite high in their intensity, but it fell away as the half progressed. And with this match, well, they've got to get something from it. Really, a loss makes life very, very difficult for them. So you'd imagine this second half will be high intensity. It's Germany that get us underway. They lead by 1-0, attacking the goal to our right-hand side. And, Simon, what do you want to see more from Great Britain, or what do Germany have to do in this second half to hold on?
Well, I think that the Great Britain have to just be that little bit more assertive. I think Crutchley will be disappointed in Great Britain's inability to maintain the intensity they showed just in the first couple of minutes. They need to step high. They need to create some opportunities in the attacking 23, keep the ball in the corners and let Jackson then distribute, but also play a little higher up the field himself.
Mantell and Vinfeder just having a little chat to each other. Here is Hawke to Lewis. Fox moves it into Catlin still going. There's a couple of players in front of Heine with the hand up, and gets the call. And Heine will take the free hit. Tobias Hauke, that's the loose one from Heine. Tobias Hauke, the goal scorer, just before the death of the first half. Into the circle they go, across it comes, Jacobi gets down well, and Heine just ushers it out over the goal line.
better from Great Britain, getting the ball wide down onto the baselines, able to drive in. Very difficult for a defender to get across that to prevent the ball across the circle.
Oh, there was a chance, but it was a very, very difficult chance for Harry Martin. He was going to his right and then had to turn to his left.
Yeah, he was leading out on the forehand for the ball across the circle. He knew where it was going to, and the touch, the deflection in front of him just took it around, trying to twist.
Just to remind you, earlier on today, two previous matches, India got the better of Korea by 2-1, all the goals coming late on. Then Australia beat Belgium by 2-0 to book their place in the gold medal match. And well, Germany in the box seat to still have their destiny in their own hands. And in doing so, if they do make the gold medal match, they will be the first team in this format. So when it's 6 teams and everyone plays a round robin, the top 2 go into the final. The first team to have drawn 2 and lost one of their pool games to make it into the final. So here is Great Britain on the front foot through skipper Barry Middleton. Captain plays the 1-2 off Vin Feder's feet. Until trying to keep it in play.
Just give me half a sec on those ones,
Great Britain maintaining that high press for longer than they did at the start of the game. Stepping out, giving the Germans some problems. Grambush with absolutely nowhere to go, was looking to go high. Dominic Mantell's stick came off the floor just to protect himself, and then opens up his feet.
Middleton getting in front, Middleton robbing the ball, and feeling that the challenge from Hauke upset his balance. Here goes Jackson, wins the penalty corner. Oscar Dika with the rash challenge.
Well, I've got to say, it'll be interesting to see how much this ball is stopped on the free hit. If we think back to the earlier referral, and the whistle goes, that's a horrible challenge to give away the corner. But if we were to see that played back when the whistle goes, we can't hear the audio on the replay, but it just looked, he took it almost as instinctively as Germany did in the first half.
You need to go in here now. You need to go in here.
Hayner, for the gamesmanship, he's saying, yeah, I've got 10 seconds, I can wander where I like, I can do what I want.
He's a bit like that, Hayner, isn't he?
So long as I'm in goal. So Warden Jackson at the top of the circle. It's Jackson once more. It goes for the tip in and up off Jacobi, was it? And dangerous balls. Another penalty corner.
Well, tiny point, Charlie, but I wonder if we can see that the defensive lineman to Jacobi's right, when he lines up in a minute, as we see the replay that hits Hauke's foot. In a minute on the line-up, the lineman appears to have his stick in the field of play.
Here.
So if we can see it on the floor here, is that stick on the pitch? That stick's on the pitch in the field of play. I'm not convinced. If that was an offensive stick in the D and it was called back technically, and I know we don't want to go to the specific letter of the law, but I'm not sure that's allowed.
To the center, to the middle. Further, further. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Lewis puts it across to Jackson. Another penalty corner comes to nothing for Great Britain. Fox to Lewis. But it's almost as if the defensive units of all the teams are so good at the straight drag flick from the top of the circle. You almost need a move at the top to get round that #1 runner.
Particularly in a situation like this, because a couple of the players that we've been lucky enough to interview in the studio have talked about the pitch just being a little bit soft. Obviously we've had epic rainfall over the course of this tournament so far, which slows it down, but even now when we haven't had any rainfall on the surface, they are saying it's just holding the water so well, it slows the ball speed down. You're only talking about 0.1 or 0.2 of a second to change the entire defensive dynamic.
Ames gets in. Paul's going to have to bring that back. That was taken about 5 metres in front of where the defence took place. Britain almost needs something to spark the crowd into life. Feed off that energy, feed off that intensity at the moment. The crowd are all very flat. Ball forward from Sloane. Kicks out Weir. It's comfortably brought out of defence. And Hauke plays it forward. That's a lovely ball from Tobias Hauke, almost picking out Konstantin Stave. And well, if that had gone to stick, Germany would have been in down the left flank.
And that's the vision of one of the world's best players, the entire attack down the left, and he gets his eyes up and finds Stable, nearly finds Stable on the opposite side of the pitch.
Here is Gleghorn. Gleghorn trying to make something happen across the circle. There's nobody at the back of the circle in red, and so Milkau can bring it away. Milkau back into Heine. Heine gets robbed now. Chance here. Here is Weir. Weir with a head up, plays it into Vinfeder's feet, wins the free hit. Martin will take it into Jackson. Jackson onto the feet of Rebente. Seems to be playing at the back here, Philippe Rebente. He scored, held on, here comes Jackson now. Jackson gets a shot away, Jacobi. He's going to have another one of those games, you feel, with a good save. And here goes Hauke, eyes up already, looking for that killer pass. Spins back inside, has another look forward, then decides to go across the park to Heine.
Replicating the vision of a moment ago from the other side of the pitch. As soon as Hauke carried the ball right to left, he was looking over his right shoulder to see where the transfer was. Going back, Charlie, absolutely. It feels, unfortunately for Great Britain, that Jacobi's having one of those days. Ashley Jackson's execution, the skill level to take the ball to the air, go right to left, and then pop a ball away at Jacobi's goal was exceptional. Jacobi similarly matched.
Hauke to Heine, who's got ample of space here. Heine into the circle. Milkau can't bring it under control. Then calmly rolls it out to that right-hand side. And here come Great Britain. Back inside to Martin. Martin's lost his stick. Martin takes the free hit for Fine Hoare, who shifts it left to Lewis. Lewis comes back inside, head up. Condon offers, but he drops it out to Dixon. Dixon with a lovely long ball, which Leghorn brings under control. The sliding stop, and wins the free hit. Good work up against Benedict Ferg. Martin up against Heine. He's always on that hot line, isn't he?
He is, and then he's always angry when a free hit's not given his way. That time, seemingly having a chat with umpire Tomlinson. The free hit going the other way. Tomlinson putting his hand up saying, sorry, signalled the wrong way. Here we see Ashley Jackson's chance. It's beautiful. Takes it to the air on his reverse there to create the space. Grambush can't get a touch. Now he just pushes it away as he falls. Great body strength, awareness of where the space is as he gets in there. Knows he can get something at Jacobi. That's a big sprawling right foot save from the big German goalkeeper.
Step. Here is Grambush. Vinfeder just stops the pass, and disappointment from Pilth-Arnold, who made the run well. Down goes Hertzbusch rather heavily, but Koen van Bunger's having, well, not interested.
Are you okay?
It seemed a little unfortunate. Now he asked if he's okay.
Are you okay?
Absolutely bundled to the floor. It felt like there was a free hit at the start of that process. I'm not sure the actual point where he fell was a foul, but it certainly looked like he got very heavily collided with as he went through the British defence.
Martin. Back to Hoare. Here is Ames to Hoare. Hoare again, it's the head up, drops it back out to Ames. Dixon. We've got just under 5 minutes of this third quarter remaining, but again the intensity there. You see Henry Weir waiting for the ball to arrive. Korn wanting it more, stepping in front of his man.
Yeah, and then Hall not delivering the pass with any real venom. The transfer around the back was good. It just hold the ball 3 or 4 passes, you make your opponent run. But then as you're going to go down those wing channels, you have to go with the same purpose. If it is a floated ball, the defender can step forward in front of you with no fear.
Corner again, getting it out to Dika. Now down this right-hand side goes Arnold. Arnold with the head up, well, he doesn't get hold of that at all, and Jackson will steal it away from Gommel, but it's a long corner, which Milkout, or Zwicker, sorry, will come to take. Zwicker. So Heine. Dika.
Gleghorn has to keep stepping out by driving himself out of the front of the press. The midfield will move out behind him. If he sits back, then the midfield can sit back, and it allows the Germans to go forward as fast as they possibly can and get their eyes up.
Arnold to Korn. Korn with wearing attention, wins the long corner, which Zwicker will take. Zwicker, lovely touch, and they're in round the back here. Milkow, and somehow Jackson denies Gommel. I'm not sure how he managed to do it, but Gommel looks certain to make it 2-0.
I have absolutely no idea how Jackson's managed to do that. It seemed to almost defy the laws of physics where the ball started and where it ended up. I think he reaches in front of Gommel's stick and taps it away from him on the backhand.
So, Hauke. Arnold. Zwicker drops it out. There goes Dika.
Lovely double spin, makes Sam Ward spin on the spot, wondering where the ball had gone.
Oscar Dika. Fantastic player, and then Jackson gets in. That's a more conventional interception from Ashley Jackson.
Absolutely, but commanding the midfield that much better, but then the pass is just off.
Right, let's have a look at this stop again.
It was on the backhand in front of Gommel as he swung. He's just put his stick into that gap. What was that, 2 or 3 inches away from a goal?
Okay, let's go into the stands and see who Mike's found.
I found the entire Australia team. They're watching on eagerly because a win here for Germany guarantees that they make the final of the Champions Trophy. Are you enjoying the game, Trent?
Yeah, I am. I think it's pretty hard fought at the moment, but I reckon there's still a couple more goals left in it.
Aaron, you're beside me as well here. What do you make of this this third quarter?
Yeah, we're just enjoying it and just watching on eagerly. As you can imagine, hopefully play one of these 2 teams in the final, so we'll see how they go and we'll try to do a bit of scouting.
Enjoy your evening, chaps.
Thank you. Oscar Dika and Sam Ward just having a little argy-bargy on the edge of the circle.
Well, Sam Ward certainly takes no prisoners, renowned for being what you probably classify as more of an old-school centre-forward, likes the high positions, is not afraid of throwing himself into the mix with the hope of getting any kind of an edge. He's done amazingly well in the English Premier League. Now Holcombe he plays for, but scoring a huge number of goals.
He was second highest goal scorer in the league this year, scoring 15 along with Gleghorn, 12 of them from open play. There's Great Britain attack here again, and the chance as Martin works his magic and wins the penalty corner. Yeah, just to finish that off, Gleghorn scored 13 of his 15 from the top of the circle.
Yeah, Benedict Furk asking umpire about why this penalty corner. Well, he got turned on the spot. There's no way you can refer that, I wouldn't have thought. It's not been on the big screen yet. Hauke is going towards him, but they must have run out of time, surely. Yeah, they have. So Hauke getting his kit on as the short corner clock ticks down. We're into the last few seconds of this quarter, I believe. Sam Ward as he drives in. Ball comes free, and it's then the second phase that gives the penalty corner.
I just compete back straight away. You're all up.
Just calling him across. What's going on here?
Why don't you go to video? Why don't you go to video then?
Don't react. No, but don't react if I speak to you. No, if you react, I'm fine. I just say it once. Okay? Yeah, but react also, okay? You can also say, Toby, now it's good.
Well, now it's good.
Just react, okay?
All right.
Hauke telling the umpire to relax.
I know what you.
So Jackson's just gone to the left. Jackson, and another great save from Jacobi. It's still alive with Ward, and it's a 16.
It's a brilliant pick from Jacobi. Goalkeepers tend to have one better side than the other, but look, the German defence is offsetting. You can see his first step. He's covering Jackson's favoured side. Surely Great Britain will now see this on their penalty corner replays, because he's offsetting, pushing off his right foot to cover the left-hand side of the goal. There is a big gap if Great Britain can find it down to Jacobi's right.
Ball over the top. Sees Fuchs. Well, he doesn't actually, and the clock will run down. And Germany still have the advantage with 15 minutes to play. Great Britain are getting closer and closer, but Jacobi is standing in their way. The big German goalkeeper has kept his goal intact with 15 minutes to go. It's Great Britain 0, Germany 1. Well, Simon, it's now or never for Great Britain. It's not a, well, they could still make the final if they lose this, but it's going to be very, very unlikely.
It'll be very difficult for them. Great Britain. So that's a great little turn. This was when Jackson picked the ball off the line on the reverse, did superbly well defensively. Yes, we know he's been involved with the penalty corners, but that stopped the Germans doubling their lead as they came down the baseline. At the other end, however, he's released 2 or 3 corners. That one, another great save from Jacobi, but he is offsetting that makes that save that little bit easier. He's a big man. You're not really going to beat him through that left leg when he's standing in that start position.
Well, Germany control their own destiny right now. Great Britain have got to find something from somewhere. They came into this competition with the strongest squad on paper, with the greatest number of caps. And now they need to deliver all that experience in the final 15 minutes of this match. So let's go to Mike Absalom. I think he's got Valentin Alfenberg.
I certainly do. He's very happy at the moment. 1-0 up. Can Germany hold on to this lead?
I hope, and especially I hope that we do the second goal, because that's the finisher of the game and we want to have that. But for us, for the game, we didn't want to concede many goals. So far, I'm very happy with that. Let's see.
Your keeper's having a cracking game.
Yeah, I hope. We give everything tonight. Thank you.
Good to hear from the German coach, but yeah, Germany looking to get their first clean sheet of the tournament here tonight. Great Britain will certainly be hoping that isn't the case. Would you agree? Do you think a second goal for Germany would seal it? Depends, I guess it depends when it comes.
Yeah, it's on the balance of play. I mean, think of the number of opportunities that Great Britain have had. If they keep creating those, they'll get 3 or 4 corners in this quarter, just statistically from the other part of the game. And if it then starts to fire, they could easily score a couple themselves, but it hasn't really
Jackson
fallen for them.
Sorry, Jackson just turning Florian Fuchs inside out and then doing it again just to show that it was skill the first time. Jackson back to 4, but it's dead quiet out there. You can hear a pin drop. Jackson plays it in, Ward gets half a touch, Jacobi clears, Groundbush gets half a stick on it, and Germany get it out of the danger zone.
No appeal there for at all, just for clarification. The issue isn't the height. We see Jackson putting the ball in on the replay. It comes high off Jacobi, but there's no pace on it, so it's not considered dangerous by umpire Tomlinson.
Here is Hoare into Ames. Fox to Dixon.
Well, and earlier on, Austin Smith was suggesting that when Jackson drops back into that British back 5, back 6, that's when they start to lose a bit of fluidity going forwards. But certainly a number of their opportunities have involved him going forwards.
They may lose fluidity, but they would have also lost a second goal if he wasn't in that back 5 or 6. So there are pros and cons. All about timing, I guess. Ames as well wins the free hit, which he takes, finds Middleton, he finds Hoare. Hoare going up strong onto his open stick side, running across the circle, plays it in. Ward gets half a touch, still going, and they win the penalty corner off Hayner. Hayner looking at Rebente. That would be an interesting discussion.
That's a superb bit of movement from Michael Hoare as he cuts in field. Sam Ward takes this dead and drops it down as Hayner swings. Hayner had to go for the interception on the ball in, but because Ward took it so cleanly, he just clattered the back of Sam Ward's stick.
He also hit his foot. There you go. Possession in favour of Germany.
So Great Britain that's on the D, but Germany running a 2-2 defence with two high runners.
It's gone to Jackson once more, onto the foot of Hayner.
Well, now finally that looked like Jackson was trying to take the ball inside the runner who was coming from his left, the German defensive right, to find the space as it comes out. Watch, he pulls that across and then rips around. He doesn't get hold of it. Jacobi had gone down to his right-hand side.
Well, now they've swapped over. Jackson to the right, Ward to the left. And it's Jackson once more. And Jacobi makes another save. Jackson with the follow-up. Does Hayner get him on the stick? It's going to be another penalty corner. Jackson can't believe it.
Well, Jackson rifles the second phase. He doesn't get all the way around it, so Jacobi drops upright back, and how on earth has Hayner got a stick on that? That's an amazing pick.
Oh, what a difference he's made to the German defensive effort. The starting blocks as Jackson goes again. This time he finds a way through, and Ashley Jackson, at the 8th time of asking, makes it Great Britain 1, Germany 1, and I think that's hurt Jacobi.
Well, you said it, Charlie. You find a way through, and it has gone straight through the inside of Jacobi's legs. I think this hits the inside of his thigh. It's tucked the big man up. He's looking to go sideways. It does go straight through the middle. That'll have scorched the inside of both thighs with the ball pace there as it goes through. That's going to hurt both his pride and the inside of his thighs.
Well, that has got some pace on it, but Crutchley will be delighted. Jackson with a 3rd goal of the tournament. And, well, what an interesting final 12 minutes we've got on here. Great Britain 1, Germany 1.
How many goals have we seen where goalkeepers have been exceptional? Srijesh Fringia was picking everything out of the corners and then got tucked up between his feet twice. Jacobi stopping absolutely everything, something down the middle. Earlier on, Australian goalkeeper, exactly the same thing, a ball hit through his feet.
Condon. And we're on the top of the circle, but Grambush gets across. There's the shots by Courton. Well, Great Britain dominating the second half on that count. Game of 2 halves.
Yes, indeed. I'm not sure the 3rd quarter felt that way to us up here. Certainly the 4th quarter has, because they stepped right out. Were far more aggressive right from the pushback, stepping out into that high press, trying to win the ball that much higher.
Grambush, plenty of space out here. Now it's cutting off Arnold is Fox and Jackson, but even with that equalising goal, the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre quiet as anything. You can hear a pin drop.
Well, you'd have thought the crowd would have got behind that, and it's a good crowd tonight. Filled up both sides of the stand. The end's a little empty, but both sides of the stand full of fans, and that just looks like having a bit of a conversation before going home for dinner.
Grambush. Back to Grambush. Down the line, and here's a chance for Benedict Firk. Now let's see how it stands. And well, you can see Great Britain, who played Belgium in their final match. If they can get a win there, we go to 8 points. If Australia beat India, then that will be enough to get Great Britain in. The Germany career results wouldn't affect that, so it would still be in Great Britain's hands if Australia did them a favour, which the way they've been playing you would imagine they would.
You know, I think if you're waiting for a set of results to play into your hands, that's probably one that you can't bank on it ever, but however, it's probably one of the more predictable results in this competition.
Valentin Altenberg, well, he said he wanted the second goal to kill off the game. He might well still get it, but they haven't kept a clean sheet as he would have hoped. And this final 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Jackson.
That's Germany now, who are choosing to stand back on the halfway line, holding a press. It's only now that Fuchs has come on and stepped out on that left-hand side, cutting the pitch in half.
Zwicker comes in front of Gleghorn.
Not sure that needed to be blown so much earlier. Make a decision as the players step into the space. For me, Gleghorn was there first, and Zwicker just stepped in from behind him.
Well, maybe that decision's favouring the more positive player.
Quite possibly. We talked about it earlier on. We did our little 101 on overheads.
Well, here comes the skipper, Fuchs. Fuchs driving to the head of the circle on the reverse stick. It's there. Pinner, great save.
What a save, Pinner.
Jonas Gommel denied by the right leg of George Pinner. And Pinner wants the clock stopped to repair his kit, but have another look at this. What a ball.
It's a great ball from Fuchs. It's off the end of Dixon's stick. Gommel gets it. However, Pinner's just asking, as this replay goes on, Pinner's asking for the umpire, and he's got his hand, he was rubbing the back of his hamstring, as if that had overextended. Now, if that was the case for Great Britain, that's a worry, not only for tonight, but with him being such an obvious first choice for them.
We'll wait and see. Catlin, the adrenaline will be pumping, and that's sometimes an issue, isn't it? Because you play through that pain, it makes things worse.
Yeah, but at the same time, you kind of also think, right, I made a save, and maybe I'll just take the sting out of this. Although he is, as we see in our envision, there is just a little bit of a limp and a little bit of a stretch.
Hauke to Arnold. And to Zwicker. Dika.
Condon all on his own. He needs a midfield to step out, as Sloane does, just to deny the space on Zwicker in that midfield.
Down the line, and Lewis can let that run. Just having a look at Pinner. Seems to be moving okay right now. That's a very, very big aerial, and well, Middleton.
That's a massive overhead, but Middleton's got his arms out, and I'd be with Barry there. He's led high. Everybody else has kind of let it go over the heads. He's like, well, there's nobody anywhere near me. That's a couple of bizarre decisions on the overhead. We're explaining earlier on as a 101 that as it drops, the umpire has to make a decision. Are there two players in the space within 5 yards? And if they are, it's going to go to the defender. But if not, and there is that 5 yards of space, then you give it to the player who is in the space first. In that instance, Middleton.
Lewis down the line. It's going to be a sideline ball for Germany, which Arnold will take. The draw also suits Belgium, remember, because it gives them an outside chance, albeit scoring a lot of goals against Great Britain, and India shipping a lot of goals against Australia. That would be the only way they could make it into the gold medal match.
Middleton trying to inject a little bit of pace, and we can hear beneath the commentary box a few frustrated calls have come on GB. At least that does start to create a little bit of atmosphere.
Well, umpire Tomlinson is clearly favouring the more adventurous player, because he's given Sloane the benefit of the doubt, even though Sloane was behind the attacker.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
Well, he's been consistent. That's the point. He's been consistent.
Yeah, he has been consistent. We may not agree necessarily with how it's being blown. However, he is being absolutely consistent. Bit of uncertainty down that side of the pitch for the Germans. Yes. Oscar Dika looking for a teammate, unfortunately, as they substitute.
Well, yeah, Ferk was going off as Rebente came on. That's a lovely take, and here's a chance now. No, there isn't. But Milkow might be able to run at the Great Britain defence.
Well, that had shades of when Jackson got done in the first 20 seconds against Australia. as he drove through that channel. It was the cut right to left onto his backhand where he just gets a little bit weak.
Ames playing it up to Middleton, who keeps it in play. Middleton up against Grambush. Wins the sideline ball. She takes. Here is Fox. Fox, nice skill from Fox. Wins the free hit.
How these players stop running at full pace and change direction and keep the ball under control is unreal. Barry Middleton there leading out to a ball that was slightly out of his reach, got enough of a touch on it to take the pace of it, but then not only kept it in, got his feet all the way around it. Incredible athleticism.
Catlin wanting the long corner, saying it comes off Hauke. Let's have another look.
So as Gleghorn pops this, he sees it and just sweeps it in a moment for Middleton to chase. However, that's when he gets taken down in the middle of the pitch, just before the ball gets given.
Lewis. There's the free hit, and we're inside the final 5 minutes, and, well, from a German perspective, they've got to get a second goal, otherwise they're not defending their title. So you would imagine they're going to come on strong at some stage.
You would imagine that, but for me this is about the mental focus of either side. What they need to make sure is that an individual doesn't try and do too much. So if as you're driving through midfield now you take on a second or a third player having eliminated the first, then you're going to get turned over and then the opposition's going to counter-attack. Beat one, look up, make a pass, do the same again, keep it really, really simple but high tempo.
Dixon, Martin. Down the line looking for Jackson, but not on the target. Rebente. Dika takes it. Here is Hayner. Back out again from Hauke. Grambush.
Mantell now deciding he's going to lead that forward press. He's going to step out, use that as the catalyst to draw the midfield forward. Sam Ward's going to get a card.
Well, that means that well, actually it's gone against Ames. But
one of them.
Great Britain now find themselves a player down for 2/3 of the remaining time.
Is that one of the first cards, if not the first card of the game?
of the game. Into the top of the circle. Here goes Gommel. Gommel on the reverse stick. Across the face of goal it goes. And Middleton, I think they're half the out. They're going to refer this, Germany.
So that's Pinner is limping again in the middle of our shot. I thought it was Pinner's left kicker that drove it away.
Yes, I can. Good.
The Germans are asking for a foot of GB in front of the goal.
The way that Great Britain cleared that makes me think there is a foot in there.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wasn't Pinner's left foot. It was
Martin's
the
right
left
foot.
of Harry Martin's right foot. Absolutely, Pinner needed to extend. But Pinner was definitely limping. The extension off his right to drive with his left to try and get on top of it. He didn't get as far out of his goal as you would normally expect.
Well, he's not moving freely, that is for sure. It's just a strange
Let's get ready in 5 then.
atmosphere in the game, isn't there?
All right, there we go, boys.
Great Britain definitely need to get their focus and drive out from the goal line, protect Pinner.
So it goes to Gommel. What a save, or is that Middleton on the line? Middleton and Pinner combined from Jonas Gommel.
Long corner, in the corner, on the sideline.
Oh, this is runs. This has just been hooked.
Thank you, that's it.
This is Middleton on the goal line as it comes across Pinner. He can't go left. Middleton catches that, and that's how the ground.
Andy Flower's going to sign him up, perhaps.
If he's still here watching, absolutely.
Here is Vicker, and Germany have all the territory in this final couple of minutes. They've got the extra player. Surprised they haven't pulled Jacobi.
Well, given that they need the win, obviously more than Great Britain do.
No, they need the win.
Yeah, they just need the win full stop. Absolutely, I'm surprised as well.
It's Vicker, 16.
Right, Lewis doesn't need to force it against Korea. Every now and again, he just took on a huge ball
Well, he goes across the pitch, and well, it's deep down in German territory. 90 seconds remaining of this final match on match day 4. Great Britain won, Germany won. It's a result that would put Germany out of the running. It would keep Belgium and Great Britain interested in making the final, along with Australia and India. It would be down to those 4. We started the day with 6 teams possibly being able to do it, and here comes Ames back onto the park. Great Britain back up to full strength.
And Great Britain have to react to this by stepping another man out. They've sagged deep, but they've allowed German too much territory. Middleton's got to lead it. He's got to pull another midfielder forwards, because the amount of ball the Germans have, they will eventually find a channel into the circle in this, last 45 seconds.
Jackson needs to put pressure on Vinfeder. Not enough, finds Hauke, given away by Mantell. Hauke takes it quickly, fired in off the foot of Mantell. It's with Fuchs. Fuchs to Zwicker. Zwicker fires it in, and Gommels tries to just backhand it past Pinner, but he can't get enough on it, and it's a 16.
Well, and that's probably enough, to be honest. Sam Ward being told to not touch that ball, give it back to Lewis. He goes long and high.
Hayner misses it. Grambusch gets half a stick on it. Now, Hayner, inside the final 14 seconds, plays it forward.
Oh, Lewis very nearly
He had to make that. Had to make it.
Absolutely killer take.
Lewis fires it forward. That is going to be the last play of the match. The final hooter will sound. There it is. Well, Germany won't be defending their Champions Trophy title. Great Britain are still very much in the hunt, but they need Australia to beat India on the final day of pool play, and they will then need to beat Belgium. Belgium are also still interested, but need a big Australia win and a big four. The final score is Great. So let's have a look at the table as how it now stands, with one round of pool play to come. And as you can see, Australia set the mark with 10 points, so only India can catch them. So Australia are definitely in the final. Who joins them? Well, if India can get a point, it will be them, depending on the match between Great Britain and Belgium. So it's still very open. It's Australia against India, Great Britain, Belgium, and Korea against Germany. So the top 2 play each other, 3 and 4 play each other, and 5 and 6. It's like the last day, but just a day early. So Australia in